Hi there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. Today we're back with another contrast painting tutorial for the Cathayan Sentinel. These miniatures truly offer a wide range of painting opportunities, and in this video I'll be showcasing the Warpstone Variant. Warpstone is generally very easy to paint. However, across the many ranges of miniatures, it usually is the smallest part of the model. Painting it as the overall colour scheme in such a large way represents a true painting challenge. The wrong colours and tones could easily deceive our eyes and make it appear more like a forest and nature-themed sentinel. In this guide, I'll show you the colours I used, as well as the theory and choices I made behind them. The end result is a visibly stunning model that will excite every Skaven in existence. So grab your brushes and paints and let's get hobbying. Now, before we start painting our Sentinel, it's important to point out some additional details that I've added to personalise my model. As I'm going for a Warpstone themed Sentinel, I've applied some 3D resin crystals with superglue to different areas of the model. It just gives us that unique twist to the theme. Now let's start with the pattern textured areas. I've painted these in Bad Moon's Yellow. For the plating, with all that textured bumpy surface, I've painted this with Warp Lightning. With those greens in place, it's time to enhance them. Shade the Warp Lightning of Biel Tan Green shade paint. This paint is runny, and with the vertical nature of the model, we do need to keep an eye on pooling. Next, create a roughly 2:1 mix of Karandras Green and Lamia Medium. Start by painting this over all of the yellow textured areas, as well as the entirety of the weapon, avoiding the gems. The Lamia Medium will help with the flow. Just make sure your brush isn't heavily loaded with paint and that you're moving it around evenly to avoid the contrast paint pooling. Our next stage is going to look very identical. It does have a slight difference in tone, however, and naturally we're going to alter it later. Create a roughly 3:1 mix of Striking Scorpion Green, Dark Angel's Green and Lamia Medium. Paint this all over the remaining armour, starting at the top and working your way down, avoiding pooling as well as the gems. While it's drying, we can also paint the living rock beneath with Iyanden Yellow. Now we're really going to bring the Warpstone theme to life. Start by creating a 1:1 mix of Terradon Turquoise and Lamia Medium. Terradon Turquoise is a translucent contrast, especially when thinned, and will tint and darken the Striking Scorpion Green armour. Again, as we paint this all over, start at the top and work your way down, avoiding the gems and other green details. Next, create a 2:1 mix of Dark Angel's Green and Lamia Medium and paint this over those dark green armoured bumpy plates. With that done, it leaves our Sentinel with 3 distinctive green tones that are visually striking. And now it's time to finish off our green colours. If you've added crystals too, then a quick base coat of Karandras Green, followed by our previous Dark Angel's Green mix, will quickly paint them. Then, use Biel Tan Green to shade both the crystals as well as the weapon. It's time to finish off our green details with some dry brushing. Start with an all-over dry brush of Flash Gitz Yellow, but don't worry about the weapon yet. Then, using Phalanx Yellow, dry brush in a downward motion, catching all of the edges that would naturally have light hitting them, and use this colour to also dry brush our weapon. While we could use bright greens to highlight the model, they would end up shifting the overall look to a more natural forestry looking Sentinel, while yellow keeps the vibrant green intensity of a toxic and deadly substance, which is exactly what we want to depict our Warpstone. It's time to finish off our details. Paint the gems in a 1:1 mix of Doomfire Magenta and Lamia Medium. Pink is a perfect contrast to our green. Then highlight the gems with Fulgrim Pink and then coat them all with a gloss varnish. Like my Willow Pattern Sentinel, I've painted the ropes in Black Legion, the parchments in Skeleton Horde and the metals in Iron Hand Steel. A dry brush of Pallid Witch Flesh can pick out the ropes and the parchments nice and quickly. And finally, create the base of your choice. Naturally for me, I've kept it as the same theme as my Willow Pattern Sentinel. I've said it before, I'll say it again, this is just a fantastic model. And a really interesting colour scheme too, that during my planning phase, I just felt it would work. it could have, with so much green, caused the eyes to just assume that it was something like a natural forest themed sentinel. But I think the colours that I've chosen, they do pull it off. Either way, I love the finished result, and that's the most important thing for us miniature painters. If you found the guide useful, then I'd really appreciate the likes and the follows. And I'd be very interested too to see your take on the Warpstone Sentinel. Until the next time, everyone, happy hobbying.